Well, 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 well. 13-point loss from our team tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies, in which we didn't execute very well. Didn't We said it was going to be a bad Vooch game in the halftime hangout. Vooch ended up being only 2 for 13. We need big contributions from him, especially when we have as many players out as what we did. Malcolm Hill off the bench, 12 points, 14 points from Troy Brown Jr. off the bench, and then 13 points from Matt Thomas off the bench on some that did come in garbage time. But this Malcolm Hill kid, listen, I'm glad that the Bulls brought him in on a two-way deal. I will say that overall, we didn't get the usual scoring output that we would expect from Kobe, especially at a time like this. 32 minutes, only 16 points from him, 15 points from Ayo Dosunmu. DeMar DeRozan did come on in the second half, but it just wasn't enough. This Bulls team just did not have enough. They didn't execute as well enough as they needed to on offense or defense to really win this game, especially being undermanned like that. So, I mean, it happens. It happens. And I know people are going to bring up Vooch and everything like this. But one thing I want to point out about Vooch, and this is one thing that I'll say again, this is not to defend him overall, because yes, he played a terrible game and we need him to be consistent. I do think if they get somebody next to him that can cover up a lot of his inconsistencies, it'll of course be better for the team. But let's keep in mind this: amongst all centers, Vooch is 7th in defensive rating, 5th in rebounding, and 6th in scoring. Let me keep that in mind. Amongst all centers in the NBA, Nikola Vucevic is 6th in defensive rating, 6th in scoring, and 5th in rebounding. You're not going to get a much better player than that at center. Now, again, everybody's going to have their things. But again, his defensive rating is tied with Miles Turner. I know people are going to bring that up. Again, this is not to be a Vooch apologist, because he sucked this game. At the end of the day, we need a better output than this from Vooch. But again, for people who are saying that Vooch is the problem of everything that we have going on, he's not. He's not. He's the easy target, but he's not the single focus of all of our problems on this team. Now, a lot of that's going to be fixed by getting people back healthy. It just is. And a lot of that will be fixed about who you put next to him. I know people talk about Willie Cauley-Stein and things like that. But overall, to get back to this game, there's just not enough in this game. BKR Sport, first of all, bro, what's going on? Well, that was fun. Yep, hey, our reign at the top of the East was fun while it lasted, but we can get it back. Another tough loss, still not worried. Listen, until the Bulls start losing like this, when we have a full complement of players, I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is. Peace, King. What's going on, King Kafu? They tried. They just don't have enough talent right now against the best teams. They don't. And Memphis is red hot right now. Second in a row, double-double for Ayo still. Ayo is definitely still. I was just going to say that. Which part? Adams really made Bradley. Listen, I mean, Bradley made himself his bitch. Like, when Bradley's mama was incubating his egg, it was the bitch egg. That's just what it was. Tony Bradley was destined to be this. Like, that's just what it is. Like, and I know some people talk about Tony Bradley, theoretically, what he can give us defensively, but listen, watching the basketball on the court, Tony Bradley was the dud egg. He just happened to survive. That's all that is. This is still, oh, that's not even question. Anybody who's questioned that, I don't know. To be honest, I think Lonzo being out has something to do with Vooch's recent slump. Lonzo is usually the one to go to him on offense and set him up too. He also helped him out a lot on pick and roll defense. I mean, listen, this team as a whole, we're missing a lot. We're missing a lot of key pieces there. I wish it was that easy, bro. I wish it was that easy. I wish it was just that easy. Damn, Haize, just damn. Well, life goes on. Let's hope we get a W next game. Listen, when's our next game? Do we not play again until Wednesday? Wednesday against the Cavs. Caruso's, as far as what's been said so far, is that Caruso is expected to be back that game. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being held out or something happens. I think that was the next time he was supposed to be evaluated, but it could very well be that he doesn't even come back that game. We'll see what's going on with Zach. But at the end of the day, until we get everyone back, I'm not really going to worry too much about anything. Again, 4-game losing stretch. We've lost 5 out of our last 6. But still, with that being said, and everything going on with this team, it kind of is what it is. Until we get back our full complement, I'm not really worried about it. This team has more than enough to turn it around. Key thing is, will Zach LaVine be back by Friday's game against Milwaukee? Will he be back by then? Let's hope. It may not be. They said they're going to hold him out and reevaluate him in a week, so we'll see. Vooch needs another big man next to him. He needs somebody who covers a lot of what he does, and Patrick Williams could have been that this season. Injury slump, it is what it is. Yes, very disappointing that players who paid as professional lose this badly, but it is what it is. We'll be back, guys. Stay loyal. Cristiano Felicio isn't the starter. Keep in mind, again, even like this is still a better brand of basketball to watch than what we watched 2 years ago. So it kind of is what it is there, man. And yeah, if you can't tell, I'm a little down, but hey, it is what it is. I ain't worried at all because I know how good we are when we're fully healthy. I've been saying if you put a good power forward next to him that can protect the run and rebound, then it'll make Vooch look better. Yeah, I mean, overall, and then defensively as a whole, we're missing such of our key defensive players, but they had a better showing in the second half somewhat than what they did in the first. But again, it's just, you have to have talent to win. And even though we have some very talented players that are still left on this roster, this is not the way that this roster was constructed to work. And we're seeing the fruits of that. It's hard. Well, not fruits because it's bad. It's hard to ask for consistency when our lineup ain't consistent, especially for a big man. That is very true. That is very true. Now we got to find a way to re-sign Io. Hot take: Io could be better than Lonzo in a year or two, especially with his aggression on offense. You're not the only one that I've heard say that. Pope, who has a YouTube channel, has been very high on, I think he's more so saying Kobe White should start over Lonzo. But listen, as of right now, Io 22 years old. The sky's the limit for him right now. And if this keeps going the way that it goes and he keeps progressing, right? Because you got to see how much of this does he bring back in the second year? What does he improve on? What stays the same? But the Bulls have to, listen, I understand that it could be very difficult to re-sign him, and I've already gone over the reasons why. I'll go more as we get closer to the offseason. I'll go more into that. But the Bulls at this point have to find a way, right? We need more scoring off the benches as well as somebody to defend the paint. Listen, we have scoring off the bench now. When you look at this game, right? Just look at this game. Most of the people who score big time in this game are from our bench. Kobe White and Io DeSumo right there. That'll be 31 points off the bench. Troy Brown Jr. isn't going to always score like this, but 14 points from Troy Brown Jr. Matt Thomas with 13. So we have bench scoring now. Our problem for a long time was bench scoring. But I think with Kobe's resurgence, Io's confidence continuing building. Once we get Alex Caruso back, Derrick Jones Jr. back, our bench scoring will probably be fine now, right? I'm not saying it's going to be in the top of the league or anything like that, but we'll probably go from where at one point we were ranked 29th in the league in bench scoring. We'll probably be able to hover around 15, 16, if not higher, just depending on how well everything gels in bench scoring. So I think the Bulls bench scoring will be fine once everybody's back healthy right now. That defense though, that type of thing, yes, that's different there. Lost 5 over last 6 and still a top team in the East. Injuries really plaguing us. That's what it boils down to. I mean, last night has nothing to do tonight, though, right? We know NBA fans are very short, and I just went over Vooch's stats. Vooch, again, for anyone who missed it, is the 7th in defensive rating amongst all centers in the league. 7th. He's above, and I think him and Miles Turner have the same defensive rating now. They kind of fluctuate back and forth. Again, but 6th in all centers in scoring, 5th in all centers in rebounding. Listen, Vooch is good. Vooch is good. People who try to just shit on Vooch, man, they just focus on just his negatives. Mid-season slump due to injuries, COVID schedule, better now than later in the season. I agree with you. there. Io 15 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks. Listen, kid's a beast. And it's so funny I'm calling him a kid now. That's how old I've gotten. The fact that us as Bulls fans couldn't even side or defend Bradley in that situation tells you everything we need to know. Listen, he needs to go. He has to go. What was Bradley even trying to do? Not make Ja fall? I think that's maybe what it started off as, and then as Ja was pushing off of him, maybe it was more of a like, hey, who you pushing type thing. Who knows? I don't know what he was thinking in that. Haize, at this point, I'm here to support you in the channel. 7 men are out, and that's it. That and all. Listen, that's what it boils down to. Io and Zoe as a backcourt pairing in a few years when they both get more developed and experience is going to be crazy. Throw in Zach, throw in Kobe in that. Caruso may still be. Listen, our backcourt is really set. That's why they cut a player like Dotson. Dotson, I will say this. What was Dotson? 21, 22 years old. Dotson had some promise to develop. If you really have time to develop him and see what he would turn into, but I understand why they cut him. Green could also be back. Him and Caruso both went to practice with Windy City. Yep. And last time we saw that was Kobe, who had one game in Windy City. He was back on the main roster. So, I do trust they're going to be back. Millar. I always get tongue tied in your name, bro. What up, Haize? Bulls, 67 and 15 pound realistically. 3 or 4 games nationally televised. I get it. We got injured key players, but man, we're not diminishing the media. Listen, I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It just keeps the same thing going that was happening before with the media. We still shouldn't be losing to this bad with no. I mean, again, no. It's about team makeup. And again, we had a bad Vooch game. But again, you're going to lose when you're missing. Again, it's not about just 2 players. It's about how you make up the team. When you have a front office that's smart, you build a team based off, certain people help overcome certain people's other players' weaknesses. You build a roster for how the roster plays together. We have a huge chunk of our roster out. So no, it's not. Yes, you any team that's missing 5 key players in their rotation should be losing this bad. Unless they have like an all-time great on their team, they should be losing this bad. Again, anybody who has 5 key, keep in mind, most teams rotations are only 9 to 10 man deep. So most teams don't go to like 12 deep or anything like that. So if you're talking about missing 5 players out of a rotation, that's half of what most NBA teams play in their rotation. So no, you should be when you're missing that type of production from your team. IO 15, 10 points, 6 assists, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. Good boy. Happy birthday. Yep, absolutely happy birthday. IO, happy birthday. Not like he'll be seeing this, but if somehow he happens upon it, happy birthday for sure. Vooch is good. He just doesn't have young legs anymore. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily say that. It's been a weird season, but yeah, I still trust Vooch more than not. How funny was it watching Steven Adams carry Tony Bradley away like a big child? I was in tears. Listen, Steven Adams is a strong guy, man. That's strong guy. Vooch is an amazing player, but sometimes it seems like he doesn't want to play, bro. He looks lazy and casual on the court sometimes. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't call him lazy at all. I mean, he's a big man that's playing on, our pace isn't that fast, but again, he's asked to do a lot. He needs some backup. I love you, but you tricked me into being a Vooch fan. Lord have mercy. I didn't trick you. Look, I just went over his stats. Again, 7th in defensive rating amongst all centers. 6th in scoring of all centers. 5th in rebounding amongst all centers. Like that's somebody you should be a fan of. But again, that's being a fan of somebody doesn't mean ignoring their issues, right? Doesn't mean ignoring the things that they need to get better on. So nobody's saying that. But in the makeup of the team, they can get a player that can help fix some of his holes for sure. Malcolm Hill is a beast, honestly. Listen, I don't like, let me go back to this one. I don't like, especially, I want to see this sustained, right? And I want to see how it looks. Like, he probably won't be getting a lot of minutes once everybody comes back, but I want to see this level of play sustained. But at least right now, he's showing more than enough to show, hey, he belongs on the NBA roster. Is it time to admit we were wrong and go with Twin Towers, Vucevic, and Bradley? Yes, if you want to get the first round pick, that needs to be that needs to be your starting front court. It seems AK refuses to get Vooch down low. I will say this. I don't understand why they don't go to him down low more often. That's a joke for anyone who thinks that was right. I think most know now at this point. We don't have our backcourt. Well, it's going to be a long week. It's going to be a very long week. I think Zone Caruso have been hiding some of our bad defensive rotations from early in the season. I mean, but that's the makeup of a team. When you make up a team and you can only do so much, right? And when you build a team, you do build things to make up for holes, and that is a big part of it. Both of those players being able to rotate to the 4, right? To guarding 4s in this league, that's immeasurable how valuable that is. Our bench is literally the G League. That's a G League starting 5. Playoffs got blueprint on us how to. No, they don't. Not really, because again, we haven't seen this team at its best or even at its healthy for even the most part of the season between COVID protocols and everything. So if teams are building their blueprint now and they use that going into the playoffs, I guarantee you it's going to come back to bite them in their ass. I guarantee that. I think the guys are just super tired from last week from playing so many games. I mean, listen, this is the NBA. You got to do it. This isn't like last year's where we had useless players on the team. All of our players are important except maybe Matt Thomas and Tony Bradley. But Oh man, to get back into that, I think, and the key point of this is that it's not last year's team. Why this type of play last year was just what we can expect for all the year. We know that we're going to get better play when things go on, for sure. I missed the apostrophe in my sentence. Oh, come on now. You know I don't give a damn about that. My whole point watching this game was to see growth of Io. He did not disappoint. Also, like the new kid, good pickup. These losses will grow us in different ways. See red. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, if DeMar had a consistent three-point shot, he'd be damn near unstoppable. Defenses are really zoning in on him, making it hard to get good mid-range looks. Again, that's what makeup in the way that you build a team and roster construction is important, because they can't do that when we have this full team out. The one thing about that is they cannot do that with DeMar when Zach and Lonzo are in that game. They just can't, because one of them are going to make you pay for that every single time. And then not only if when Vooch is going, and then Javonte Green, Lord knows Javonte's made plenty of teams pay. Again, not anything consistently, but if you leave him open on that corner three, he's going to take it and make you pay sometimes. So yeah, I mean, again, that's why roster construction is very important. I know what you're saying, but he needs to step up, but we're going to be back. We're going to be back. Absolutely. That's not a question anymore. Listen, the Shy. So this is what I will say. This is my thing. So again, you got to keep in mind this front office is very smart, and what I'm going to say here, a lot of people may not agree with, and that's fine. But what I'll say here is that with the signing of Malcolm Hill and Alfonso McKinney, if the Bulls, and again, I'm not doing trade talk, I'm doing speculation. I'm not going to bring up any specific names. If the Bulls do need a trade chip, though, Troy Brown Jr.'s contract at $10 million a year could be to bring you in a nice piece, right? A lot of the people that we talked about being buyout candidates would fit well within that. So I understand what you're saying, but maybe, just maybe, especially with Troy Brown, he is improved, right? If they don't see him as long-term, or they see what he's able to give to this roster can easily be plugged in with somebody else or one of these other signings they give, giving Troy Brown Jr. minutes right now may make sense heading into the trade deadline. Again, not saying they're going to get no marquee piece or anything like that. By that, I mean like Jeremy Grant. Like I don't have, that's not happening. That's not realistic. But if you look at somebody who's more like a buyout candidate and the Bulls don't even want to risk, hey, why buy him out if we can just bring him in using this Troy Brown Jr. contract? It may make sense. It may make sense. We'll see. We still got DeMar, Vooch, and Zoe, bro. No reason. Have you been watching? Let's see. This is when people leave games like this. When do we have Zoe? Zoe hasn't been playing. Zoe has not been playing. So what are you talking about? Now, if you're talking about the two games that we had blowouts back-to-back against Golden State, and Zoe didn't even play in the Golden State game, did he? Am I missing that? So what are you talking about that we've had Zoe? Like, we haven't had Zoe. And again, DeMar and Vooch, again, that is not the way that this team was made up. You just throw names, but it matters on how the roster is controlled. We did have Zoe in the Golden State game. I knew we had him in the Nets game, but so no, I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen when you're missing that much of your rotation. No, you're gonna get big losses like that. As much as Vooch frustrates me, 16-11 ain't nothing to sneeze at. Nor you can. That's what I said. Again, I'm gonna nail this home every single time. Vooch, 7th in the league amongst all centers, period, in defensive rating. That puts him in not only the top half, but the top third, right, of all centers in the NBA in defensive rating. He's 6th in scoring amongst all centers. No, he's 7th in scoring amongst all centers, and he's 5th amongst all centers in rebounding. That's not nothing to sneeze at. That's not something you can just replace. And people forget that. I think something this team needs to work on is recognizing when Vooch has a little guy. Yes, and Vooch needs to also call for the ball. Like, this is one thing that I will do, is that when Vooch has the mismatch, she needs to call for the ball, especially when you're out there with a rookie point guard and Kobe White as well. You need to be looking them in the face and saying, hey, and if they don't give you the ball in the next time out, you need to identify and say to them, as a veteran that Vooch is, to say, hey, I had a 6'1" dude on me in the post. Every single time that happens, give me the ball. And if they come and double team me, all right, well, trust me to make the pass. Vooch absolutely needs to be calling for that ball. We don't have enough size. We get killed. We getting killed. I see what you're saying with that, but it's not just about that. It's not just about that. The size isn't really what's hurting us big time right now. Vooch always getting the blame. AK definitely needs to get him support. Hopefully that is Cook and getting P. Will back. But if there's someone from the buyout market we can get, they should do it. Hey, listen, I know people have been talking about Willie Cauley-Stein. Now, he's been out of basketball for personal reasons. But listen, I wouldn't mind at least taking a look at that to see what he can give us. Caruso should be back for the Cavs, so it'll help our defense despite it being a relatively bad matchup for him size-wise. Listen, I mean, and the Cavs are playing pretty good too. So let's see. Not gonna lie, waive Tony Bradley and sign Haize on a 10-day backup center at this point, bro. Listen, I guarantee you I'll give way more effort than that. I wouldn't drop the ball. But not like again, I mean, I trusted that this front office sees what's going on with Tony Bradley, man. Tony Bradley is that one random kid in the friend group that's always doing some stupid shit and embarrass himself. The type you have to look at side eye while evaluating your life decision. Tony Bradley is that one friend, right, that you love, right? Because I'm sure he's a great locker room guy and shit like that. And I'm sure, otherwise he'd be gone by now. But he is that one guy in the friend group that you just know you have to apologize for before you go out. Like when you meet up, people's like, look, my friend Tony's gonna be there, man. Sometimes he does some shit, and let me just say, if he does some shit, I'll tell him, but I just want to apologize now. Tony's going to come out with us tonight. Like, you got to call ahead and apologize for Tony Bradley. I just want folks who think we can go to the finals this season and start being honest. No, still think we can still make the finals. With this team being fully healthy, we showed that we punch well above our weight and can compete with any team. So, no. I still think there's, again, not saying they should be favored, as I've always said, but no, I'm standing on that. Let's see. Spice. John Morant is a different breed of human. Who is John Morant? Y'all talking about y'all creative players on here, man? You made a storyline where you thought you was making John Morant's brother. Is that what that was? Who on the market? Again, we'll see. We don't know yet. We'll see. How long do you think this losing streak will last? Hey, looking at the schedule, let's go back. Let's look at the schedule. So we got the Cavs coming up on Wednesday. We got Milwaukee coming up on Friday. First of all, both of those games are going to be very tough games for the Bulls. Very, very tough games for the Bulls. The Milwaukee game, like I said, I give us a chance against Milwaukee any day. Like, Milwaukee puts no fear in my heart when we have our full healthy roster. By the way everything's shaking out right now, it doesn't seem like we're going to have Levine back by then. We may not have Zoe back by then. We'll see what's going on with Zoe. So again, this easily can go to the next two games for sure. And then I expect everyone to be back by Orlando's game next Sunday. Well, this upcoming Sunday, January 23rd. I would hope so by then. So then when we can hopefully start getting back on track. We can get, and again, I give us a chance, especially if Caruso and Zoe are back, I give us a chance against Cleveland. And if they come in playing like they did against Boston against Cleveland, I definitely give us a chance to beat Cleveland. But I can easily see this also extending the next two games as well. This is just me being honest. This is not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. I don't know what the hell is going on with Vooch, but he needs to work on his shots and defense. I mean, there is some definitely, and even like we said with DeMar, like there's something going on. And it may just be tired from carrying a big load. We don't know, but something definitely needs to happen, and they definitely need to go. Steve-O, you can tell there's a lot of highlight watchers. Oh, for sure, bro. You can tell people who actually watch basketball for the sport of basketball, people who just watch highlights that they see on ESPN, people who only just check the stat box, and people who just play 2K and try to come in here and talk about basketball, knowing that damn well they watch like 3 games a year, and most of what they play is on 2K, and they try to judge players in real life by what they can do with them on 2K. You can tell all that by some of the comments in here for sure. John Morant definitely sounds like a construction worker from Denver. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, DBD, that I don't know where you're getting that at. That's not necessarily true, right? Where they're Green. They even said, Billy Donovan even said, he came out with comments about Green, that even though Green practiced and played with the Windy City Bulls, that you may not. It really may not be a thing that he's necessarily back. Zoe, we don't really know when Zoe is going to be back. Caruso is really the only one that they've really mentioned specifically will be back by Wednesday. But even then, we still probably won't have Zach by Wednesday. Derrick Jones Jr. is probably not going to be back by Wednesday. And Jeff Green's probably by what Billy Donovan said today, even after it was announced that he practiced with Windy City Bulls, I don't necessarily didn't give me the biggest confidence that he'll be back. Now that can absolutely change over the next couple of days, but I wouldn't say necessarily that we're going to have most of the roster back. We may at the most have Caruso back and Zoe, maybe, right? The Zoe is the maybe part. Even the Caruso is a maybe part because it's easy that they said he'll be reevaluated by Wednesday. Now, usually when the Bulls franchise uses the word this season so far in reevaluated, it really means that, hey, unless there's a setback, they'll be back Wednesday. But it could very well be after some tough practices, he comes and he's like, look, the foot still isn't ready. So I wouldn't necessarily bet on us having most of our players back by Wednesday. I'm glad we're going through this now. This will only build character. Go Bulls, for sure, for sure, for sure. The Heat have moved up to the number 2 spot. Hey, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Let's see. John Morant at this point in this chat on this channel, like people are probably going to come into this like from the outside who never watched a stream before, and they're probably looking at you guys' comments like, man, what the fuck are they talking about? Do they watch basketball? But we'll see. We'll see. Jason in the building. What frustrates me is that some Bulls fans think we aren't even good. It's like they don't even know what our current roster looks like. I mean, a lot of Bulls fans, right? We'll put quotations around them. Like it's so funny that like even some people in the chat and like comments that I respond to here will make comments like, and what did Zoe do last night? Like, why did we lose if Zoe's so good? And it's like, motherfucker, did you see that Zoe didn't play? Like, people literally look. Some people don't even look at box. Like, that's the bare minimum what you can do as a quote unquote basketball fan is check the box score. Some people don't even do that. They literally will look at the results and then come and try to make comments, and they don't really pay attention. I school people like that all the time. The shot, when is Cook? It's going to be a long while from Cook from the way that things, I wouldn't expect Cook back anytime soon. Cook's probably going to be out for another 2 to 3 weeks probably, if I have my timeline remember from when he went out. No, so I don't know if you guys saw, like, so after it was announced that he practiced with the Windy City Bulls, Billy Donovan came out and said, you know, even though he's practicing, it may be a little misleading, that his injury may keep him out a while. So that's why that whole thing of them practicing, I'm trying to find the exact quote. The feed so caught up with Bulls things at this point. The game things from the game, but Billy Donovan said something specifically that made it seem like that he may not be coming back as soon, even though he was practicing. I'm trying to find the quote. If I find it, I'll give it to you. I don't really have it right now. Everything is all about the games and the stupid double technicals. Tony Bradley really be fucking tripping, man. He really be tripping. I can't wait. Like, Tony Bradley is probably not going to be back on this team at the end of this season. Like, unless some things really change, he won't be. But I'm trying to find the quote. I think Casey Johnson tweeted it. I can't remember, but we'll see. Yeah, Tony Bradley is that one tall, soft, and clumsy, but they deal with him because he's tall. Hey, he's a deterrent, right? You know, like some people have those big ass dogs that literally are sweethearts and would never harm anybody, but people would never fuck with the owner just because they have that scary ass dog, not knowing that literally if you walk up to the motherfucker, the dog will probably run from you more than attack you. That's what Tony Bradley is, right? He has the length, the size, and sometimes he even moves out there just looking at him. You're like, this motherfucker probably blocks everything that comes his way. And then you start realizing that he's slow, both mentally and physically, that he has no lateral quickness, that when he touches a basketball, literally his fingers turn into butter. And then you're like, oh, we're not even going to worry about it. Let's dunk on this motherfucker every night. So, hey, that's what happens. Trying to catch up on all these. Tony Bradley is basically a Great Dane. Hey, I don't know about y'all. I've seen a mean ass Great Dane in my life. But they do look slow as hell too. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. That TNT broadcast was terrible. Listen, that announcing team needs to be fired immediately. Hire me, BKR Sport, and Jamal from Bull Central as a 3-man commentary lineup. Listen, we'd be the best lineup in the world. Like, we do so much better than what that, like, I wasn't even paying attention to the game, to their commentary so much. I had to zone it out because they were terrible. Not just bad, right? It's easy to say people are bad. That was terrible. And the fact that they get paid money to do that, to be that bad, is criminal. People forget we are a new team. Doing what we've done this year is beyond what was expected, so we're ahead of the process, hardships, and all number one seed in the East. Hey, I mean, and we're going to come back around. Listen, we're going to come back around. Yeah, the announcers were worse than ESPN, man. It's bad. Cut Bradley while tweeting out video of Adams ending him. Listen, hey, man, I'm telling y'all, listen, Tony Bradley got to go. Or we just need, like I said before, the issue with Tony Bradley isn't necessarily, I mean, yes, there's issues with him as a player, but it's the fact that he's literally your backup big man. If he was like the third big man off the bench that you come in for like a spot 5 minutes while your other two guys are resting, right? I don't know, man. If we could take like Javonte Green's heart and brain out and transplant him into Tony Bradley's body, that's what we need, man. That's what we need. Facts. SVG said Desmond Bain should be an all-star. What? See, idiot. He's an idiot. Listen, they're both bad, right? I hate it when people compare one bad person. Well, at least there's somebody worse. Yeah, but you're comparing. That's like the definition of out of the frying pan and into the fire. You're not really doing anything comparing him to that. That's terrible. Yeah, see, that's what it is. Growing pains. Yeah, growing pains. So yeah, I thought that he's not gonna be coming back as soon as AC. So anybody thinking that he's gonna be back Wednesday like AC, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Y'all would be some dope announcers. Listen, I'm telling you, that would be a great thing. And even Jamal from Bulls Central, I know he doesn't know I exist, but put me in BKR, and especially because, listen, I don't know if y'all watch. Like, anytime y'all have bad commentary, y'all not enjoying the commentary, if BKR is doing a live call, that's all you need to listen to. And he's one man holding it down. I could not keep up the energy he keeps up the whole time, even when the team's playing bad, but I'm telling y'all right now, next time that there's a bad announcing team, just turn it down. Pull up YouTube on your phone, go to BKR Sports Channel, push play on his live call. He got you taken care of. That's just because he's in this chat. Real talk, I'm telling you right now, BKR Sport was much better than anything you would have heard on this broadcast today. Anything. Listen, when the Bulls get rid of Tony Bradley, I will personally come and pick him up from the Bulls facility and calmly drop him off in Cleveland. That's where he needs to go. The first ring of hell. That's where he needs to go. He needs to be in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not talking about to play basketball for Cleveland. I'm just talking about he needs to be in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, because that's where things go to die. That's where he needs to go. Tony Bradley got no confidence at all when left open, take a shot, nobody with him. Listen, at some point, right, especially, they're going to have to figure this out, and this is why I trust that this team's going to do something, because when it comes to playoff time, I don't care if Tony Bradley is only in there for 10 minutes a game to let Vooch get some Gatorade and chill out. Teams are going to, be able to double team somebody, because you can literally leave Tony Bradley open on offense, and he's going to find a way to, I don't know if it's his ancestors are like the demons that they had are paying him off, right? Like, they are blocking the shot. They are knocking the ball out of his hand every time he touches it. Like, there's something spiritual going on with that. Like, there's literally something supernatural, because I've never seen an NBA player making, what is it, this contract like 1.5, over $1 million, not be able to hold on to the one thing. That's like being an English teacher that can't speak English. Like, that's what Tony Bradley's role is right now. Like I said, I don't know what demons his ancestors had or what he did that's paying him back off. He must have broke a mirror or something, because I'm telling you, the Holy Ghost is literally knocking the ball out of his hands every time he touches it. I'm telling y'all, that's what's happening. Bro, what's crazy is imagining listening to this every night as Bulls fans are spoiled by Stacey Kidd. Absolutely. People are coming back to the stream in a few years' time when Haize and I pushing official broadcasting commentary. Hey, listen, Hey, listen, I will say this. This season, I'm not ready. But next season, how about on preseason, BKR, me and you, we have a long time, right? This is coming a long time. But let's call some preseason games together. Let's see if I have the right to stand up next to you. Let's see that. It would be fun. Cut McKinney, try to upgrade Matt Thomas. Listen, cut both their asses. No, not McKinney. I don't know. They should have waited. No, because listen, you do need some size out there, but it is what it is. Cut Tony Bradley, sign John Morant. Listen, y'all look crazy, man. Y'all look crazy. No Lonzo, no difference, or do you mean no defense? Like, I don't know what you mean by that. Exactly. Realistically, the Bulls should now currently be starting to gel together. That is a key point. That's a key point. If we don't have Stacey and Adam, the commentary sucks the life out of the game. Absolutely. Subscribing to BKR. Now, listen, I'm telling you, do it, man. Doing it. Man, some Bulls fans have seriously forgotten Portland's Bulls. Listen, not even that. Like I said before on Livestream the other night, I had to root for Eddie Curry. Like, listen, nothing that we go through is worse than me sitting there as a fan having to hope that Eddie Curry develops into the next Shaq, right? Baby Shaq, like hoping that was going to happen. Rooting for Denzel Valentine and his big ass gums was one thing, but rooting for Eddie Curry, who literally looks like he was a monkey that was caught halfway through evolution and stopped, right? He's literally a shaved Sasquatch. Rooting for him to become the next Shaq. Listen, that's almost unforgivable. And I'm still here as a Bulls fan, man. Listen, this streak is nothing. Appreciate it, man. Tonight was a tough one, but with 112 to go, I was doing the math on how many threes we needed in the last minute to win. Hey, man, that's crazy. I remember when the guy I locked on Bulls was saying how good Tony Bradley was. Were they? That's crazy. I'm not going to lie. We'd rather us just ride out with Tyler Cook, wait for the rest of the team to gel, and then make another deal or addition. Like I said, it depends. Like, if it's Troy Brown Jr., who you can trade to bring in a key piece, in that contract and maybe a future second or something like that, or if somebody was just going to buy out somebody and instead you do that trade, I'm not hating that at all. But no key pieces. And Cook, you already know how I feel about Cook, my brother. I'm not concerned about the Nets. It's the Bucks, Heat, and Cavs that are coming on strong. Hey. Tony Bradley's new Kwame Brown. Listen, no, he's worse than that. Kwame had a few games in his career where he showed up physically, right? Kwame had some games where it was like, He showed, hey, no, I'm a man beast. Tony Bradley literally just never. Did Feliciano stay for long? Dude was straight garbage. He was here for way too long. Haize, you went for the spiritual ancestors. I'm telling you, man, his family must be cursed. Tony Bradley versus Denzel, because at least Denzel can dribble, like, right? Like, Denzel's thing was never not just being able to hold on to the ball. Now, he took stupid shots and just made some stupid passes, but at least he was able to hold the ball on, right? Like, Tony Bradley, nah, man. No. Haha, I'm down, man. We'll get something going. Definitely. What we got here? Watching the Matt Thomas makes me miss Walt Lemon Jr. Oh, man. Haize and Petty Roosevelt will be a golden on broadcast. Listen, my voice would be through if I had to do both of us. Alpha Omega, listen here. So the Bulls rank towards the bottom half of the league of 3-point attempts, but we're towards the top of the league of 3-point percentage. We do need to take more threes, but with that, we need to move without the ball. Like I said before, and it happened in this game, there are times where this team just does not move without the ball. We do need to do that, but absolutely, I think more threes and feeding Vooch more. What are you doing? Sorry, I'm talking to my dog. I have no idea what I was saying now. I wouldn't mind T. Bradley if he at least knew to get in the opposing players. Listen, the only thing the one thing that Tony Bradley can do to redeem himself, just as me as a personal, is the next time we play the Lakers, when Hairline James comes in the hole, he literally just punches LeBron's knee. Just punches his knee as hard as he possibly can and probably gets suspended for the rest of his career. But listen, it'll be a win. That would be the best thing he does, and that would just be personal for me. Oh my God, Michael Carter Williams as our point guard. Listen, and here I was. Listen, this is how much I'm a Bulls fan. When they traded for Michael Carter Williams, right, and we got him in, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember his first game of his rookie season when he killed us. If he can get back to that point, he'll be a nice starting guard for us for the next handful of years. Listen, he had a lot of gums too. I don't know what the Bulls' propensity was for light-skinned black men with a lot of gums and baby teeth there for a while. I don't know what that was. I know John Morant's still mad about the situation with Tony Bradley saying I felt him beating his ass because I knew I could throw. Did you see when he was over on the sideline talking shit? Oh man, preseason commentary with Haize, BKR Sports, and John Morant. Remember that. Haize, I know you don't want to talk trades, and I agree. I think we'll be players at the buyout more than anything. How do you feel about a player like Tristan Thompson off the bench? I've talked about this heavily. I think back when I did my full video early in the season about potential buyouts, Tristan Thompson was one that I mentioned, and I wouldn't mind it at all. Get in opposing players' way as they go to the hoop. Listen, he won't even do that. He won't even do that. Who were the 3 worst Bulls coaches since Phil? Oh. Let's see. Boylan, number 1, for sure. I'd have to put, even though Vinny Del Negro had some success, I have to put Vinny Del Negro second to him, and then Fred Hoiberg. And I think Fred Hoiberg, though, the reason why I put Fred Hoiberg at the bottom of that is because I really think if they gave Fred Hoiberg the roster that they promised him, the young, more athletic roster that they talked about, that I don't think Fred would have been as big of a miss as what he ended up being. They just didn't give him that roster. And that goes back to what I've said about Garpax with them drafting, but not really having a vision for the team, the type of team that they wanted to build. So yeah, that would be the 3 worst that I would have to give. And I'm sure there's people that are probably worse, but those are just, they bothered me so much, man. I would rather have Derek Favors. Absolutely. Penny slightly coming out. DeMar DeRozan had 2 wonderful buckets. The pump fakes are a beauty out. I mean, yeah. I mean, he does his thing. Alpha Omega. Bro, y'all bringing up these players activating my PTSD for sure, man, for sure. I'm in the chiropractor office right now watching this. I just found out I fractured my shoulder from the gym. Damn, bro. Wait, are you serious? Damn, man. That sucks, bro. With it being officially the halfway point of the season, what exactly position you have us in? Listen, at the worst, I have the Bulls. Let me say at the worst 4th, depending on how bad the stretch in health. But I definitely think the Bulls have the potential to finish anywhere between 1 and 3. That's my honest opinion as of right now. Not only did I root for Eddie Curry, I actually, to my shame, believe he could become. Look, you and me both, bro. Like I literally was like, yeah, we got the next Shaq on the team. Knowing damn well the motherfucker just looked like they shaved Sasquatch. Like that's what it was, man. It's crazy. Floyd, yeah, I forgot about Floyd. You're right. Yeah, I like Floyd being on that list better than Del Negro because, like I said, considering he came in, he was the coach of the rookie Derrick Rose era, and he did some pretty good coaching for us. Now he was not the coach to get us into over the hump into the next level that Tibbs got us into, but Del Negro really did some good things for this team, depending on considering where everything was. Did Kevin Love get bought out? Nah, but even then, I don't know about that one. Trade NBA for Draymond Green, man. Listen. Look at the bright side. At least all of his injuries and all of his bad luck the boys are having right now is happening early in the season and not towards the end like it always does. Well, hey, knock on wood. Let's hope for health for the remaining part of this season. I'm dead ass was wondering why I couldn't turn my damn R. Now I got to be careful watching these games to make sure I don't shatter it raging at the TV. Listen, man. Oh, God. Bro, if I tell y'all some of the ways I've hurt myself watching Bulls games over the years, man. We need Cook to come back and be Taj Gibson out there. Listen, I think that from what I've seen from Tyler Cook, let's just say the Bulls don't make a move and bring another power forward. Let's say it's Patrick Williams that comes back. Patrick Williams comes back. He's our starting 4. To have Tyler Cook come in and be able to do center or back up 4 minutes and still have, of course, Javonte to fill in when he needs to. But I really like the idea of Javonte really being able to play anything from the 2 to the 4. I think that's a nice rotation. I think that's a nice energy rotation. What Tyler Cook lacks as far as being a defender, what he brings you energy-wise and just an activity level is almost like it's unmeasurable. So White is so nice coming off the bench and scoring point guard is needed in this roster. I hope he's scoring guard. Let's not label him just a point guard, but I agree with you. What can I say for Petty to come out? He should host when we lose. Listen, Petty has to come out when it's actual natural, or otherwise it doesn't. It's not genuine. Like when Petty comes out, it's genuine every time. What happened? Come on, man. I hate answering questions. Like I get it that I'm the bull spot, man, but where you been, man? Where you been? He's having soreness in his knee. Trade Tony for Taj. Oh man, I don't think anybody takes that. Why Tony Bradley get picked up like a stuffed animal? Listen, man. Like it just remind me, like when you were the older cousin for anyone who was, and you had the younger cousins, you just put your hand on their head and let them just swing crazy and tire themselves out. That's what that reminded me of. Can we show some love to Io? Because at the end of the day, he met John Morant have a very difficult game. I mean, Io did his thing. 75-year-old Noah, Tony Bradley. Listen here. This is what I'll say. Sign Dennis Rodman right now, and I guarantee you plays better basketball than Tony Bradley. Right now. What about bringing back that? I mean, again, those aren't things that are really in our control. Man. We like, again, if he gets, I'm sure the Bulls will be looking. Well, again, I don't think we can sign him if he gets bought out. Hey, Haize, do you think Io is a point guard or shooting guard? What about Kobe? I personally think Io is a point guard, Kobe is a shooting guard, and they can make some nice passes. I think at this point, right, Io, in the NBA now, you are who you can guard. And so Io is flashing more point guard skills, and I like the way that it looks when he runs the offense. I would trust him more to play point guard. But as far as Kobe, he's just a guard. And what Kobe's showing out there, too, is that he can play. Like, you wouldn't want him to be your starting point guard long term, but he can give you some point guard as well. He's just a guard. He's a scoring guard is what Kobe White is. I wish we had Covington, man. He'll be solid, a nice shooter and great defender. Again, is Covington still a great defender at this point? I know he historically and through his career has been a great defender, but is he still that currently right now? That's the question. Bulls this season always looked like they was riding talent, and we had no real game plan. Like, what? No, what? No game plan. I wouldn't agree with that at all. That can only come back if he gets traded, then cut. Yeah. At this point, I would rather sign Terrence Jones. At least he would have more. Man, listen, I know you sent in the video about that, but again, Terrence Jones hasn't been in the NBA since 2018, man. We really don't even know what we can say about him. Now marketing wants to play defense. Hey, man, listen, fuck him. We should trade Tony Bradley for that guy in the Brazilian league. I think his name is Felicio. No, thank you. I think we're good on that. The Cavs and Bucks have good size. It'll be interesting to see how we go against them in our next couple of games. We're boxing out good today. I thought boxing out was pretty good today. I agree with that. I mean, it just remains to be seen. IO 2 games with 10 assists and double-digit points. Can you say future? I think we were already saying that. Yes, Tony has no explosive at all. You get valuable minutes, show people that you are made of, and sorry, he just don't cut it. Tony Bradley is literally like, he's here for now, man. He's here for now, and I want to see him play good while he's here. He's put together some stretches for us in certain games, but overall, it's just we just need better and more production. Robert Covington made Kevin Durant have a bad game this season. And I'm not taking away from that. I just mean I would have to look at like what his rating is and everything this year so far, as far as the advanced analytics and stats. But again, at this point, I'm not turning my nose up at it or anything like that. I just don't know if he's going to give us the type of production he gave at one point in his career. Right in tandem, we literally have started Alex Caruso power forwarding games and won it. Yep. Shout out to you. BKR Sport, Alpha Omega, your comments are giving me aneurysm. Don't let it get to you there, bro. Throw Vucevic to the trash. I put him up there with Hayward as no, again. Okay, Foom. So since you may have just dropped in, let me drop some knowledge on you. Nikola Vucevic is the 7th ranked center amongst all centers in defensive rating. He is 6th in rebounding. No, 6th in scoring. Sixth in scoring and 5th in rebounding amongst all centers. That's not trash when you rank like that amongst your peers. That's not trash. So again, I get the use of the strong words, and I get that you being upset or not liking the way he plays, but when you use words like he's trash, and especially with Hayward as worst signings, you're just delusional, and you're not looking at basketball. You're looking at just what he doesn't do in bad games and then pinpointing those things on him, because statistically nothing matches up with what you're saying there, right? It just doesn't. So that's my thoughts on that one. Ed Neely, Tony Bradley. You know what? Matter of fact, cut Tony Bradley and sign Charles Barkley right now. How do you fix size? Haize, give us some solutions. Again, that's not my job, but we talked about it heavily on the channel. Wouldn't mind PJ Washington, young upside, good defense. Listen, and I've read some things, again, even though I'm not talking about trades, is that PJ Washington may be available for as low as 2 second-round picks. I don't know how that's true, right? And some of these reports I don't always believe, but if there's the deal to be, if at this point Charlotte is just like, hey, give us almost anything back for PJ Washington, considering how solid he is, I just can't believe that that's how low they'll be willing to go on him. I read some of that stuff and I'm just like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I'm not reading any more comments from Alpha Omega. Y'all bot scores and watchers make my head hurt, for sure. For sure. Listen, I only will take this trade if they throw in Rocco the Rock. Like, Rocco got to be on this team to be part of that. Like, right now, Rocco is a better defender than Tony Bradley. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally trust AK and Mark on whatever they say. Yeah, it's frustrating to see them collect some L's, but at full strength, we'll be fine. No need to panic about, period. The solution is to trust the front office and to fix that they have earned our trust. Let them work. Let them work. I already read that one, so okay, I didn't miss anything there. Oh, Sweaty Bloke? Wow, that's a hell of a username, my brother. Yeah, I'm kind of over TBJ and Bradley. Listen, TBJ isn't that bad, man. Isn't that bad? He's improving, right? But again, I'd hope that it's to just get his ass about he's an expiring $10 million contract. Make something happen if it's there to happen. So Rocco, he's not even real, he's just a rock. Listen, but at least listen, if Rocco's there playing center, right, you place him in a place, and as long as it's not in the restricted zone, he can't get a 3-second violation. Somebody's bound to trip over him, and because he was standing there and he wasn't moving, that's a charging foul, right? You can't call him for that. I'm just saying, Rocco could probably get you some things, man. Robert, you said Herman Monson. No, he's Lurch, right? That's what it's Lurch. That's who he is, man. Listen. Oh my God, the Tony Bradley shit, man. And he got a lot of gums too. See, it's something about anytime the Bulls have a player with too many gums, you right there know they're going to be disappointing. Right there that you know they're going to be disappointing. Period. Let's see if I can find a picture of Tony Bradley's gums. They're not as small as I thought. He still got a lot of gums, but he ain't got the baby teeth though, like Denzel. But he still got a lot of gums. That's for sure. The Bulls are so desperate for a big right now that DeMarcus Cousins. No. He's already signed to Denver too, but no. We love some gummy motherfuckers. Now I think about it, Big Bird looks like. Oh, listen. Hey, Big Bird got a big wingspan, right? I'm just saying. We already talked about Willie Cauley-Stein's. So first, he's been out since November for personal reasons. On top of that, he has to clear waivers. Let's see. But like I said, if he is ready, prepared, whatever was going on in his personal life to come back to basketball, you have to take a look at him. Rocco and John Morant, Bulls about to clutch the East with these two. How is Tony Bradley in the NBA is a real question. Size, man. Size. Size, man. LO, right? Bulls coming down to earth because we missing 5 key players out of a rotation. Come on, man. Get the hell up out of here. Bro, tell Stacey take his jacket off for Tony. Gio. I haven't said your name like that in a minute. Hey, Haize, this petty guy, does he wear his hat backwards? I've been waiting to see the guy make an appearance. Hey, it hasn't been anything that really is gotten petty, hasn't got the call quite yet. He hasn't got the call quite yet. He hasn't gotten it. Cubs baseball ain't anything to be excited for right now, and I'm a Cubs fan. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. All right, what y'all got? We got 5 more minutes, man. I was only supposed to stream for 45 minutes. I'll give y'all an hour. What else we got before we head out for today? I will trade Tony Bradley for 4 Jack in the Box tacos right now. Right now. I'll even throw in cash considerations. That's how bad I want him gone. I'd probably duct tape myself and play better than Tony Bradley. I think Vooch would have a better time if we had some better entry passing. He has to reach for the ball coming out of position too often. Maybe have the team practice that a bit more. We'll talk to Benny Donovan, my brother. Talk to Billy Donovan. Right, you some preteen Bears. Bulls looking like Chicago public schools team last 4 games. Come on, man. I've been trying, y'all. You been trying to get Petty out? Nah, you ain't been doing enough. At least we can say Kobe's here to stay. Listen, well, again, I want to see Kobe. Like, let me make it clear. I want to see Kobe stay. Clearly, I want to see Kobe stay. I want to see him have a long career here with the Bulls. But with that being said, if any team had ever thought that Kobe White may be a piece to build around for a rebuilding team or anything like that, like take the Rockets, for instance, right? And I know there's going to feed into, let me be clear. I do not want to see Kobe White traded. But if, for example, the Rockets, who are clearly going into rebuilds, look at Kobe and say, hey, this is absolutely a player that we want as part of this rebuild, and we'll give Christian Woods and whatever else for it. Do you turn that down if you're the Bulls? I don't know. But again, I want to see Kobe White stay here. Haize, are you also a Bears fan? Yes. Remember, I wore the Bears shirt on the stream the day that we lost to before the losing streak. Whatever game we lost before that, I was wearing the Bears, and they told me never wear the shirt again on a Bulls stream. So I haven't been wearing it. So yes, I'm absolutely a Bears fan. I know once the team come back fully healthy, we're going on a win streak. I believe that as well. We would fleece Indiana if we traded Kobe in Portland's first. Well, again, that's not enough, and that's not realistic. And no, I wouldn't even do it for that. I would not do that for that. Petty like Gogeta. Oh, dear me. Now at Run With Us is bringing up the Bears. Watching Bulls stretch now. We've had a comment about the Cubs and the Bears. So as soon as someone would ask about how the Blackhawks are doing. All right, 2 more minutes, y'all. What we got in the last 2 minutes, man? Wait, I missed this one. How the hell did I miss this? Y'all sure Tony isn't the Simeon PE teacher? Wow. Listen. Wow. I just can't see Tony even being a PE teacher. Like when Tony finally when people realize he's not an NBA player and he's out the NBA, or if he turns it around and becomes a solid NBA player and then retires, Tony Bradley strikes me as somebody who is absolutely going to retire, become an analyst, and then he'll just dish on all the dirt he heard in NBA circles. Like that'll be it. He'll be the Chicago Bulls version of Kwame Brown. Sam, who's my favorite? Michael Jordan. Second is Joakim Noah. Torian, this is awesome content. Listen, when the Bulls lose, man, it gets funny around here. RP Tony Bradley, Petty sure he's dead after Adams in this chat. Hey, man, it's funny. Gio, remember Michael saying the Cubs have been rebuilding for 52 years, maybe 2 years ago. We would think that, but hope we sign AOP well for the long term. Listen, man, that shit's crazy. It's crazy. All right, we down to the last 30 seconds, y'all. Hey, let me go ahead and get my comments in. Thank you guys for joining me today, especially after the Bulls lost. To have a turnout like this during the loss of the Bulls is great. And then, like, look, don't let this team get you down, man. Don't let this bad stretch get you down. Better times are coming. They're on the horizon. Luckily, even with their players are injured, it's not anything super long-term or anything that projects to be a problem going into the season. So we have a lot of things that we can build upon with this team. Make sure you're following the podcast at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text or a voicemail, you can do so at 773-270-2799. But that's it for me, for the guys, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Look out for a video from me tomorrow. Like I like to end everything else on, man. Love you guys. Go Bulls. Peace.